it's another day with May, and today we are making healthy peanut butter cookies. For your ingredients, you will need a cup of almond flour, a teaspoon of vanilla extract or vanilla paste, a third of a cup of honey, make sure it's raw, a half a cup of peanut butter. I'm using crunchy because I like that crunchy consistency, but if you don't have crunchy peanut butter, you can use smooth. A quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, a quarter of a teaspoon of salt, but also extra salt to put on the top when you're about to bake them, and one large egg. All right, let's get cooking. All right, so first you wanna add all of your dry ingredients into a bowl. Starting with your almond flour, followed by your quarter of a teaspoon of salt. Forgot what salt was called for a sec. Followed by your baking soda. Use your whisk and just give that a bit of a mix through. All right, now create a well in the middle of your bowl. Now we're going to add in your wet ingredients. So first we have your honey. Make sure you heat it up in the microwave for about 30 seconds just to make it a little bit more runnier. It makes it so much easier to mix through, trust me. Now your peanut butter. This peanut butter is really goopy. And now your egg. Now using a spatula, or I guess you could use your whisk, but it'll just be a lot harder. Actually, forget what I just said. Use your whisk. I forgot we were mixing in the wet ingredients first. And then you'll want to use your spatula to fold in the rest of the mix. Now, putting your whisk to the side, take your spatula. You could also use your hands if you don't have a spatula, and just fold that all in to make your dough. Now, if your dough isn't the right consistency, you can always add in more almond flour, or you can add in a little bit of water if it's too dry. Maybe even more honey if you want to make it a little bit more sweet. All right, and done. So that's exactly what you want it to look like. So nice and thick, but also not too thick. You don't want it to be grainy. All right, so I'm just going to put that onto my tray now. Okay, so I made a huge mistake here. As I was mixing this, I remembered that I forgot to put the vanilla in. So what you want to do when you're mixing your wet ingredients, add in your teaspoon of vanilla. I mean, if you forget like me, and you're also silly, you can also just fold it in. It's no big deal. So either taking a spoon, or if you have it, you can use an ice cream scoop. Ice cream scoop is probably gonna be a lot easier, but I don't have one of those right now. So I'm just going to take a dollop size, about that big. Let's move this to the side so you can see it better. You're just going to scoop it onto the tray, like so. So these are a lot harder to form. That's the only downside to this recipe. So you're gonna have to do all of your forming pretty much on the tray. But don't worry, they still come out great. Also, these cookies don't really expand. So if you want them to be a little bit flatter, then go ahead and press them down a little bit more. So now time to add the salt. So here I'm just using flaky sea salt. That's my favorite to use, especially for cookies. I love putting salt on top of my cookies, but it's not necessary if you don't like to. I just like that little extra kick that it gives to it. Helps really enhance those flavors. Alrighty. Okay, so I preheated my oven to about 170 degrees Celsius, and now let's throw them in. All right, and there you have the peanut butter cookies. So this recipe took about 8 to 10 minutes to bake in the oven, depending on whatever your oven is. And like I said, it makes about 8 to 12 cookies. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and until next time, see you later.